Hi everybody, I'm Luella Stanley. I'm the CEO of First Aid Action in Brisbane, Australia, and I'm also a children's author empowering young children on life-saving skills because one day they could help to save your life. But what I'd like to talk to you today about is firstly the importance of having a defibrillator in your home, because this is what's going to give the person, your family, your child, your baby, the best survival rate possible. I'm also here to talk to you about infant CPR as well. Firstly, the defibrillator, this is mine. It's an Australian one. I don't sell them. I just love them. I think they're just the most amazing invention ever to have, in the hope that I do actually never have to use it on anybody. But it's there in my house and I take it with me everywhere just in case. But you can jump onto their website. They're called Cell AED. And please purchase one for your home. I love it because of the size of it. You can use it on adults, you can use it on children, you can use it on infants as well. So I've got my old one here and I'll just show you how it works. So when you get it out the case, all right, all you do is you snap the machine in half. Mine's already been deactivated, so this is my old one and they've sent me my new one already. So when you snap it in half, the backing comes off and it turns on automatically and starts talking to you, just like a normal defibrillator would. So the lead also is folded up inside here, so it comes out when you pull it apart. Now the machine does give you voice prompts. It tells you to press the blue button here to let the machine know that you have an infant that's under 10 kilos. And it also tells you how to place the pads, and that is a front position on an infant is one. So on the front of the chest there, then we roll our infant over and we place the other one in the middle of the back. And the pads actually, surprisingly, they stick really, really well on the infant. So it's a fully automatic machine, okay, fully automatic. It's probably a lot of you who are experts in first aid probably do realise that it's probably a smaller chance of defibrillating an infant or a child. You can still use the defib, but sometimes we expect that the defib won't actually put a shock through, but you never know, just in case it might do so. It's going to give your infant the best survival rate. So it's a fully automatic machine. When it starts talking to you and tells you that it's analysing, it tells you to stand clear. There's no shock buttons for me to press. I just have to make sure it's safe around the baby, that I'm not touching anything that's going to conduct electricity to me, and it will automatically shock if needed. The battery life of these machines, when you're using it, is actually one use only, but the battery life actually lasts 20 shocks. But as I said, they're called Cell AED. You can jump onto their website and you can get more information about the defibrillators. But they're just the most amazing thing ever. So I'm actually having a hard time trying to get it off my mannequin's chest. That's how sticky the pads are. So they're absolutely wonderful. There we go. But that's infant CPR. So if you've never done CPR before, you never know, you might just save your baby's life. I also like to empower children on being able to save their siblings as well, even though they may not get it perfect. I will have a video shortly showing you my wonderful 8-year-old niece, Alexis, and she'll show you that she can actually do CPR on an infant mannequin quite easily as well. So we just follow the steps of DRSABCD, which is international. And the first thing you do is always making sure that there's no danger around the infant. You then check a response. So those of you that have had babies, they're very ticklish there on their hands. They're also very ticklish on their feet as well. So if you touch their feet, then they may, if they're awake, they're responsive, then usually the foot goes up. The next thing we do is we make sure that we call an ambulance. And if you have a defibrillator available, a lot of shopping centres have got defibrillators, call for a person to get the defib. So the country in Australia, the emergency number in Australia is 000 or 112 on a mobile phone. 112 is also international and in Europe as well. So make sure that you do know, or your child does know, the number of the emergency services. The next thing we do after sending for help is we check the baby's airway. All that means is that we look inside the baby's mouth and we see if there's any vomit or obstructions in there. If there was, we then turn the infant onto the side. This one being a very stiff doll, and we just scoop it out with your finger, okay? Next thing we do is we go to B and we check the baby's breathing. So when we do that, we just make sure the baby's head is in a neutral position, so pretty much the mouth facing up towards the ceiling. We then put our hand on the baby's chest and we look, we listen, we feel, and we try to do this for about 10 seconds. If you've got the ambulance on the phone, they're wonderful. They will count the 10 seconds for you while you count the number of breaths the baby's doing. So the baby's not breathing. There was no breath or very minimal breath in that 10 seconds. You can see the color of the lips of the baby is quite blue. We then need to start doing CPR. So when we do CPR on an infant, we only need to use our 2 fingers. So 2 fingers in the middle of the chest there, and we press down 1/3 of the baby's chest, and we try to do this at about 100 to 120 compressions a minute. 120 would be better because you'll actually more blood flow around to the baby's body. So pressing down about 1/3, 120 compressions a minute. We do 30 of those. So I'll just fast forward here. So 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. When you do the breath, you're going to cover the baby's mouth and nose depending on the size of the baby. They don't need a lot of air. So just enough in your cheeks is enough, or enough that you feel the hand goes up. So covering the mouth and nose. If this is your baby, you wouldn't need to use a shield, but if you're using, if you're helping another baby that you're unfamiliar with, we do recommend the use of using a face shield over their face. So mouth and nose, 2 cheekfuls, and I can feel my hand go up on the baby's chest. So we just continue, 30 compressions. All right, so 30 of those and 2 breaths, and we keep going either until your baby starts to breathe or the ambulance arrives and takes over. So it's quite easy to do. All right, so 30 and 2 all the way, and hope that the baby does survive. Okay, stay tuned, and I'll have my little niece Alexis doing this on the infant very soon. All right, take care now. Bye-bye.